What is going on, Nitro Gang? Happy to see you all showing up here again. It is Friday night. Many of us had a good week. Some of us had a painful week. But whether it's good, it's bad, or full of pain, like in my case, and I will explain why later, I made sure to keep making Nitros great again at all cost. I got some pretty interesting looking pictures I'll want to share with you guys. It's a little on the personal note, but you know what? When you put yourself out there on YouTube, there's nothing to be worried about, especially if you're out there trying to get it done like I am. We got Jim Palazzalo. How you doing, my dude? John Hensley's here. We got the VP of the High RPM Gang, Big Boys Toys. Hope you're well, man. Rusty RC Nitros is here. The rest of you guys will show up in a tad. So let me give you a little catch up on what is going down here tonight. Now, last time, I think I forgot to pull out the sickening factory Nitro Hammer instruction manual. Well, luckily I found it. Now, I had big hopes, big dreams to play the included VHS tape. But guys, something happened. Sam, how you doing, my dude? Yes, we will discuss Hulkamania dying, and that is why you see red and yellow in this particular video, to honor the Hulkster, the person who only trash-talked people with bad intentions in phone call conversations. Don't forget about that happening. It happened. But guess what? Everyone can get caught saying some things, but never to that embarrassing level that he did. From my understanding, Hulk Hogan hasn't spoken to his daughter Brooke since 2023. And there's a reason why. Because as Jim said, he's a real American. And okay, anyway, so let me get down to the topic of the conversation here today. You guys were here with me about a week ago, where I unboxed this. And yes, my dudes, this boat was a runner, but there was one significant main issue, a flaw, like taking steroids for 45 years of your life and pretending you're gonna live beyond 71. Ron Fuller, how you doing, my dude? Happy to see you here. Now, guys, as we all know, the red and yellow will never die, especially if it's on a boat. I think this boat will outlive Hulk Hogan. Nitro Pimp, how you doing, my dude? Happy to see you here tonight. Tomorrow is a big day for the Nitro Pimp. He has a plan that is unlike any plan ever before. It is more important than slamming Andre the Giant when you're pumped full of steroids and hormones in the 1980s. The Nitro Pimp is getting it done on his channel. Guys, everybody, put your hands together. A member of our crew has reached the all-important 1,000 subscriber mark. Joey's Ace RC, how you doing, my dude? I'm looking forward to Nitro Pimp's video tomorrow. I don't really want to say what it is. I want you guys to go to his channel and take a look at what he's planning on doing. So I will be up, well, pretty much not early because I got pain. I got a lot of pain, but I will talk about that in a little bit. Anyway, Pinker RC, how are you? RC Cape Cod, happy Friday to you. Monty Kriska Jr., happy to see you here, bro. Thank you for resubscribing, becoming a channel member once again. I want to say, you know, I don't give you guys, my channel members, enough cred, but honestly, it means a lot. BMR31, what's up, bro? Unfortunately, the way YouTube is doing, you know, I could get into discussing analytics. Jamie, Nitro Jamie, what's up, bro? All aspects, happy to see you here, man. I could get into discussing it, but the channel members count. I just want to say they count a lot more than ever before. All right. Ever since, you guys might remember, there was a YouTuber by the name of, forgot what it was. Basically, this guy, it was PewDiePie. Wasn't it PewDiePie? I think it was PewDiePie. Yes, he pulled a stunt in a forest, you know, filmed some, unfortunately, a corpse hanging from a tree. And ever since then, a lot of the YouTube ad revenue has pulled out. It's pulled out and said sayonara. So PewDiePie is basically killing it out there by ruining it for everybody. Anyway, enough about that. Dad and Mads RC, what's going on, man? So let me tell you my plan today, guys. If you all might remember, what was the issue with this boat last week? Oh, Tim, what is that over there? That's an exhaust gasket. So yes, I fired it up last week, and there was an exhaust leak. Now, taking an engine out of a boat, especially fiberglass, honestly, I do not have much experience with this particular thing. So we're gonna have to look at the manual, see how easy it is. I should be okay. I don't really want to mess around with removing the prop, the flex drive, the flex shaft. All that stuff is, it's basically secured to wood. Don't want to deal with that. Andrew Pope, what's up, man? I just got the notification to Andrew Pope's newest video. So if you guys want to see some sickening nitro, go to his channel. In fact, I will give you guys a link to his channel right now because only channel moderators could put people's links in the chat. So I'm going to give his link. You guys go, subscribe. He's a good dude, a positive fella. And he burns nitro with a proper tune. So this is Andrew Pope's channel. Go give him a hell yeah. All right, tell him Hybrid sent you, okay? And then tell him that's a sickening MGT right there, or whatever video you want to watch. He gets it done. Anyway, only RC Nitros, how you doing, my dude? Happy to see you here. All right, so let me get down to Tarek. What's going on? Happy Friday to you and everyone else just joining us. Gotta pull the engine. Wes Hobbies, what's going on, man? Let me read what Wes Hobby says. Some always great information coming from you, man. I appreciate it. Wes Hobby says, you have to undo the collet that holds the flex shaft to get the engine out. You can change the exhaust gasket without removing the engine. Yes, that was my understanding. So previously, I've basically mostly worked on electric boats. I do have a Traxxas Nitro V, as you guys might know, but I never had to pull the engine in a Nitro V. And a Nitro V is quite different in construction. The Nitro V, in fact, has a clutch. This is a direct drive. It's a much simpler system, so it really should be easy. The only thing I was actually worried about, guys. Wonderbread, how you doing, man? I appreciate you giving a couple comments on my second channel, the Nitro Gang over there. You know, been building that for years, and having real bad progress, bro. Real bad, but I'm not gonna sit here and cry. I'm just gonna make it known without crying about it, okay? Anyway, so we're gonna pull this engine. I want to be careful with these engine mounts because, you know, they do go into what appears to be, I'm not sure if that's definitely not balsa wood. I'm not sure what kind of material this is. Maybe if the boat people here can let me know, that would be great. Oh, man. By the way, guys, I want to let you know something. I just came home from acupuncture. Anybody here ever have acupuncture? There's only one reason people get acupuncture. That's right, Rusty Art Nitro RC. Thank you, Basswood. Okay, I appreciate that information. I'll remember that. So acupuncture, and I have the pictures to prove it. There's only one reason people get acupuncture, and that reason has to do with pain. Max settings, how you doing? He goes, hybrid, I did acupuncture for my back pain. Well, max settings, that's what went down today right before this video. So guys, could I get a hell yeah for me, hybrid over here, pulling a video right after literally a 45-minute acupuncture and, you know, pain removal sessions. You want to know how much I spent? A lot. But I do have some pictures. Nitro Gang Queen, thank you for that channel dono to me. I will reimburse you later because, you know, we basically live together, so you understand how it is. I'll show you guys a couple pictures if you want to see. But first, I just want to go over this manual, and we will take a look how easy, you know, it is to remove the engine. I'm not saying I can't do it. I could probably figure it out. But considering, you know, this is an old boat, I want to be 100% correct. John, how you doing, bro? Happy to see you here. So let's take a look at the manual. I didn't show it last week, but now that I have it, I figured, why not? Let's take a look at it. If you guys want to take a look at it. Max settings, that's exactly basically what I'm getting right now. The thing is, I don't have any bulging discs, bro. I never injured myself. I don't do that kind of stuff. You know, I'm relatively fit. I work out. I don't have any kind of like heavy lifting things that I do in life. It was just a freak accident, you know, after standing up in an air-conditioned environment. And now I'm paying a lot of money basically to get better. But I'll talk about that later. Let's take a look at the manual for now. You guys let me know if you could see well. So these boats were made by Hobbico, which is pretty common. Just want to see, you know, if there's anything interesting here for us to take a look at. The assembly manual, stuff like that. Exploded parts views, rather. All right, so here they're just talking about, you know, how to check it, running, engine break-in, carburetor partially open, blah, blah, break-in, stuff like that. Oh, no exploded parts views. Well, that's pretty much a useless manual. Usually, you know, you kind of open up the manual for the exploded parts views. What kind of manual is this? That's not even extra sickening. This is not sickening at all. So I'm going to get rid of this right now. This manual is pretty much useless for my purposes right now. Still nice to have. All right. So I'm going to ask you guys, do you want to see... I got a couple pictures for maybe those of you that don't believe me. By the way, I have tried everything. You see what that is right there? Yep, Wonder Bread, that's literally what happened to me. Literally, I bent over to pick up an electric RC motorcycle, and now I'm about maybe $800 into therapy. You know, that's with insurance, by the way. Yep, I thought maybe I'm deficient in electrolytes, so I got some electrolyte solution. So I'm going to drink this right now. Take a look at this. Basic care, it's basically like Pedialyte. You know, I'm trying to eliminate everything possible. Had some good suggestions from even Tarek, told me to take some magnesium. I took 2 doses of magnesium. It's not that, unfortunately. I wish it was, but it isn't that. So let me get some of this blue in. And taste, in fact, pretty delicious. I'll show you the pictures later on in a little bit. All right, so my goal is basically to remove the engine. I'm thinking the situation is, obviously, can I get to the engine screws? Because they're covered by this header, right? So I think we're going to have to undo these screws, the main screws. I just hope nothing strips there. It should be okay. So I'm hoping, guys, and, you know, this is kind of trial and error. You know, the thing is, I've had people over the years tell me I'm wrong. You know, try to crucify me there because something was incorrect. Well, let me just say, I'm not a tutor. I'm not doing a step-by-step. This is literally a guy with back pain after an hour's worth of needles trying to take an engine out. This is trial and error, okay? It's fine. All right, so let's get down to it. So I'm not doing much today. Can't go outside. Can't really walk that well right now. I'm sitting in a chair. That's all I can basically do right now. Tara goes, are we taking the engine out? Yes, man. But the problem is I need to get to these header screws. Can I get to them? So I'm going to try to see if I can just rock the engine like maybe 45 degrees up. And then I'll be able to take the exhaust out a little bit. Drunt, how you doing, man? You guys believe that Ric Flair outlived Hulk Hogan? The ultimate rivalry, man. The ultimate rivalry. All right, so I'm going to try to see if these screws will budge. I'm thinking they will. I haven't tried before, really, so let's see if it does. Yeah, Ric Flair still alive, bro. All right, so they're moving. They're moving. I think if I remove this, you know, I'll be able to... I just need to move the engine like 45 degrees just to get to the screws. Well, tightening up. I mean, it feels real tight in that wood. It does feel tight. Yeah, Dad and Mads, bro, sorry to hear that. But it's real bad, man. It's real bad. I basically have like a bunch of shooting pain in my knee. It's gone down to my knee. It's real bad. I mean, I can do the stream, right? But otherwise, I'm basically just laying on the couch. And walking around, well, you know, doing the stretches and stuff, but that's about it. All right, so I got this screw a little bit. John Hensley, thank you, bro, for that channel donation. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to show you guys later some pictures. You know, maybe you got to understand, I don't like pain that much. For me to go to acupuncture, I'm going to tell you something, guys. Yeah, Tara goes, be careful with the engine mount. Yeah, I'm going slow on it. I'm just making sure, you know, nothing strips with the wood. You know, for me, you know, to go to a pseudoscience type of treatment, which, you know, I'm a person that believes in facts, rationality, science, the scientific method, trial and error, you know, demonstrations. For me to really seek out what many people believe to be pseudoscience, which is acupuncture, and give it a shot and a lot of money, that means I'm doing not good. Trust me, guys, that means I'm doing not good. All right, so this one's coming out good. And I'm going to do this a little bit slow, guys, so I'm sorry if I'm taking the time, but, you know, I got to be careful with that back situation. All right, so this one's out over here. I will tell you, for those of you that, you know, maybe wondering, BMR is wondering, so did the acupuncture treatment work? Hold on, I got to sit back a little bit. My back is killing me right now. So for those of you wondering if it worked, let me sit here for a little bit. I'll talk to you. You know, when I came back from the first treatment, for like a solid 12 hours, it felt fine. Like I was walking up the stairs, I was doing fine. And then, literally 12 hours after, came back to exactly how it was. I was very devastated. You know, needless to say, made another appointment. It's one of those planned obsolescence treatments. But it was literally a 12-hour heal. Well, you know, that stuff takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Although, actually, that treatment did happen overnight. Yeah, Nicholas Hillman, sorry to hear that. I mean, I've honestly never broke anything, so this is kind of devastating for me. You know, especially, you know, I could understand if, like, I injured myself doing something crazy, I would have, like, you know, beat myself up over it. But this was like having a runaway that, you know, you don't expect, except it's going to cost you more money. All right, so we got these screws. I'm going to pull these screws. Yeah, Nitro Jamie, I got all the stretches for the sciatic stuff, but what I'm worried about is I'm having, like, some severe nerve issues. All right, guys, let me get into this. You all got to let me know if there's, like, too many commercials here today. Fortunately, that's the way it's going to have to go. Let me pull these screws. So I'm literally just trying to get the engine out like 20 degrees. Well, not 20, 45 degrees. I think if I can get it 45 degrees tilted, I can get to the exhaust. Check out these screws, though. They're pretty, I mean, obviously wood screws, you know. Well, not wood screws, but pretty sickening screws. Yeah, Nitro Pimp. Yeah, Melissa has the YouTube Premium. Oh, said her name and she goes, what about me? Nothing about you, boo. You got the YouTube Premium. I don't got it, so. All right, let me turn this around. Just want to see if I can get the engine to move up. Hopefully that works, and I'll investigate further. Yeah, I had a, you know, Nitro Gang member see if I want to break in a new Nitro tomorrow morning, but I'm going to have to probably put a no on that due to back pain. You know, for me to have to say that, You understand? That is real bad news right there. That is real bad. I am devastated, in fact. All right. Getting this one. All right, so the engine is moving. So far, so good. So we know the boat's a runner. It just had a massive exhaust leak for those of you just joining. Let me just make sure this moves. All right. It moves. I think if I can get it to shift a little more. Yeah, I can disconnect this. Get this moving a little bit. I think I'll be able to remove it. Well, this guy has it on pretty tight. Okay. What else? This is pretty flexible. I don't got to move that. If I can get this out, that would be nice. Let me snip that off over there. Could put on a new zip tie. Thank you guys for showing up here today. You know, considering I just got home like about 45 minutes ago from Acupuncture. I would consider myself pretty dedicated. All right, so the engine is moving. Okay, I don't need to remove everything. You understand what I'm saying? I need to literally just... Oh, there's a flange over there. Okay, I think I'd be able to remove the engine screws. I just need to get a little bit tilt to get the screws out. Let me see if I can get a driver in there. As long as I can get a driver in that angle, I don't need to take the engine out because I just need to get the exhaust gasket in. All right, yeah. I think we're good, guys. Look at that. Hey, there's no need to go more than you need to go. All right, this one's good. This one's a mover. Right, this way I'll remove it. I don't got to do too much, because I'm basically hella injured right now. Clean up the screws a little bit. That's just the goal, guys. Work smarter, not harder. 2mm driver, and I'll just put the engine back in with a new gasket, and it'll basically be fine. Well, exhaust leak wise, I still have hull issues, but fiberglass repair issues. John, how you doing, man? Let me give you an update right now. Just got home from acupuncture. My back is killing me. It's real bad. And doing this stream, removing the engine. What was there? Was there a nut on that side? Something felt like it dropped. Let me take a look at you guys' comments over here. That looks all right. Anybody ever here watch the sketch comedy show Nathan For You? Oh yeah, that fell out. All right, let me get this. The prop shaft fell out. It's okay. It's easy to get in. It's just an easy mechanism. It's just a dog bone drive, basically, right there. All right. We can replace the gasket. Let me spin the boat around. Get a little light. I mean, that's it. I mean, I'll be able to put the boat back in together without really messing with anything vital too much, right? See what I'm saying? We're gonna get easy access now to the gasket. Yeah, this gasket, as I just took it off, I want you guys to take a clean look. A clean look, baby. Look at that. Yeah, pretty much came in, Jack. You correct. Yeah, so the bottom of the gasket is fully disintegrated right there. Let me shift it. Yeah, you could see it's fully disintegrated from the bottom. On the bottom. Pretty sickening. Yeah, small block engines are basically side exhaust almost all the time. Unless you have like a high performance engine. What do you guys want? You want to see a picture of the acupuncture or what? Hybrid. I mean, oh, John goes hybrid. Want to buy a new radio? What do you recommend? All right, John, man, I highly recommend you get the Fly Sky GT5. That's the one I use in all my videos. Highly recommend you get the Fly Sky GT5. If you want, I'll put a link to it from Amazon right now. Do you want a link in the chat? For those of you also wanting, radio, I'm telling you, just get this radio. It'll be fine. Today we have people that think you gotta spend a lot. You gotta get the Futaba. You can get it, but the GT5 is very good. Nitro Pimp here agrees. It's very good. So let me give you a link to it from Amazon. It's a $69 radio, comes with a receiver. And, separate receivers are like $20 each. So it's not going to let you down. It's a good radio. It has pretty much every feature you want. Let me add it right here. All right, so there is the link to the Amazon radio. I'm going to tell you, it's good. The receivers are small. They're good. They're 6-channel. What you care about is having a lot of channels for ports. So you're not going to run out of, ports, basically. It's a very, very user-friendly, John. Very, very user-friendly. I use it on everything. And so far, it's been the most user-friendly radio I've ever come across. For like a modern 2.4 gigahertz radio. Binding is really easy. Setting up the failsafe is super easy. Plus, you got 20 model memory. So what that means is you can run the same radio on up to 20 models. As long as you buy separate receivers, of course. RPM, man, how you doing? All right, so I'm going to show you guys maybe a picture or two from the Acupuncture. It's pretty sickening. All right, you ready for this? All right, here we go. Here's one picture so far. I'll come up with more. That's the acupuncture needle sticking in my arm. Right there. Let me go to a next picture. I have a couple here. I don't know if I want to show. All right, this is me giving you the thumbs up with the needle. And that's my nail. I mean, I could show you the nail. You want proof that that's my nail? That's my nail. Big Boys Toys, I'm not sure. I think the sound should be okay. Everybody thinks the sound is okay? The sound should be okay, man. There's a needle sticking in my hand. Let me see what else we got. Don't know if I want to show that one. Oh, this is an important one. I want you guys to know. Hold on a second. I got to get back to it. I want you guys to know that had to visit the emergency room, all right? Because I thought I had like some kind of other issue. But it turned out to just be this. I didn't waste time, though. You see this right there? What am I doing? Tell me what I'm doing right there. What am I doing? That's an IV. I'm going to zoom in on this picture. I was responding to viewers. And one of my sickening channel members, you guys can't see it right there, but he knows who he is, No Music RC. I literally wrote a comment back to him with the IV in my arm. Now, honestly, that is dedication. All right, so he knows when he gets it. I was out there taking advantage of the great internet, putting up shorts. No Music RC, I took a picture of me sending you a freaking message. Thank you, man. Mark Nugan, how you doing? John wants to know if the GT5 will work on a low-C. Yes, it doesn't really matter what system you're putting the radio on. They'll work on any electric. They'll work on any nitro. They'll work on any gas. Because really what it comes down to with, RCs is just channels and servos. Right? The system, it doesn't really matter what it's installed in. Like, this is a boat, yes. But in fact, there's basically just 2 servos here. So it really doesn't matter, right? Like, it's not like you need a specific radio for a low C or nothing like that. Of course, if you want to use Spectrum electronics, then yes, you need a specific radio for that receiver. But the GT5 comes with the receiver. So you're not going to be, outsourced, so to say. You'll be insourced. Kidding around. You're not going to be sourced or in any kind. But I'm telling you, get that radio. The link I put, it's going to be fine. All right, guys, so let's continue. I'm going to start doing the that work over there. All right, guys. It's a little uncomfortable for me to do this sitting in this position. Plus, the engine is not totally removed, so that's okay. I should have enough space to get into it. You know what I'm gonna do? What's up there, Lucas? How you doing, man? Don't worry about it, bro. You're a dedicated viewer. Let me remove this so I can remove the fuel line. Okay. Man, I'm getting commercials myself over here. John wants to know, did the acupuncture help? Well, drinking water is more effective when you're thirsty. Let me put it that way. If you drink water when you're not thirsty, it's really not going to do much. But I don't know. Acupuncture, you know, it takes a couple sessions. I don't know. I honestly think it's a placebo effect because the thing is, if you guys want me to talk about it, I could talk about it. Nicholas Hill, the 10 energy receiver batteries are fine. I've used them also. You know, the thing is, you're not just getting acupuncture. You know, they bundle that therapy with other therapies. You know, they do cupping, which is those circles with that go on pressure points. They also do electrostimulation, right? I forgot what the name is, but it's basically electrodes. So all of that coupled together, it's possible that, in fact, it's the other therapy. You can't really convince me that it's the acupuncture. John, bro, thank you for sending a gift membership to our winner here today, Pitbull Air Cooled, great channel member. Now, well, and in the past, of course. Been a long time viewer for many years. I appreciate that, man. So yeah, Nicholas Hill and everybody, you know, the thing is, the acupuncture stuff, you know, it could be a myth. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I'm a person that believes in science, that believes in repeated procedure, that believes in experimentation type of stuff. But there are some things that are tough to explain, and that is one of them. All right, so let's get down to removing this gasket, cleaning this up. All right, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean this header. It's real filthy. Let me walk really slowly to the bathroom. Gotta basically halfway crawl right now. I have my wipes there. I'm not going to the bathroom. All right, ha ha, hoo hoo. How's it going? All right, I'm back, everybody. Want to say thank you all for being here once again. It means a lot to me, guys. So I got my cleaning wipe. We're gonna wipe this a little bit. Got to have a good surface. I mean, the surface looks pretty good. It's just, you know, gunked up, but it's straight. The surface is straight though. There's no residue here. This is just, you know, pitted, I guess you could say. Now I'm gonna clean up the surface on the engine. Trying to give you guys a good look at the boat right here, you know. I mean, I figured rather than sitting home being all upset about my injury, I'll do a stream, make Nitro halfway great again, talk to some friends out here. What do you think about that, everybody? All right, I'm taking apart. Yeah, it's the gasket is real. You could see it's a goner. It's like my back. Marcio, how you doing, man? I think, I don't know if I've seen you here before. Welcome to the stream, man. So, good question from Marcio over here. He goes, where is the filter? I'm glad you asked, man. So, boats don't use filters. Because essentially, you know, the thing is in the water. If you use a foam filter, it could still inhale water. So, you know, dirt-wise, you're not really going to have dirt. The only thing I worry about is if you start it, you know, like on the sand. In which case, it could happen, but... You know, if you don't start in the sand, if you start in the water, you have no risk really of dirt. Of course, unless you like run ashore or something, but you shouldn't have an issue. I'm just cleaning up the exhaust port. John, how you doing, man? Yeah, the real bad thing is, I don't know how I'm going to go to work right now. You know, and I'm being real here with you. I got no reason to hide anything. If things exist, it's truth, and it's truth. Yeah. Yeah, bro, Marcio, no problem, man. Ask any questions. You know, I love when people ask questions. You know, at first I thought, how come you can't put a filter on a boat? And you know what? You can put a filter on a boat. But the thing is, if it inhales water, it's still gonna hydrolock. You know what I mean? So the chance of that is equivalent with a filter and without a filter. That's what it's come down to, really. All right, let me clean the bottom of that mount. And I think it's basically done. Appreciate you guys being here. You know, I wasn't sure if I was going to do a stream tonight. I, you know, had to take a bunch of pain pills, as obvious. But when duty calls, and the duty is to make a nitro great again, because hopefully if I'm better in a month or two, I could go out and run it. All right, so that's done. I'm gonna clean up the screws a little bit. Give me a second here. Make sense, everybody? Let me clean up these screws. Yeah, Cam and Jack, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. But you know, the thing is, you gotta give it all a chance, and then I can make up my mind. But until then, yeah, I really do believe. John Hensley, thank you, bro. The picture quality is good. I gotta clean this up a little bit. You see all that dirt came off the screw? Sickening. It's all from the deteriorated gasket. Yep. All right. Let's continue, everybody. I got some more pictures if you want. I'll share them with you, but I want you to know, when I was over there in the ER thinking I had some kind of internal organ issue, but I didn't. You know, of course, after my giant-ass copay, with insurance, of course, I was still responding to comments. Right there in the emergency room. Joshua Dulaney, what's up, man? All right, let's put the screws back in, and I'll put the header in. Yeah, it's a pretty proper boat. I mean, you know, it's a relatively low-end boat, but a nitro boat is a nitro boat, right? You know, in the couple days I've been home, you know, obviously I can't go to work right now. I've been watching some old TV shows. Anybody here ever watch some classic 1900s to 1940s Buster Keaton? Buster Keaton. Anybody watched the good old Buster Keaton movies? No, you can't watch Borat all day long, right? Let me get this one in. It's going to be a little tough because the screw's going to want to come out. I'm going to have to get one at a time somehow. Buster Keaton, Hollywood's original stuntman. Yeah, so I'm trying to make sure the screws don't back out. It's basically what I'm doing here with these two drivers. Yep, Joshua Delaney. It was a black and white movie. All right, we're good. You put one in, one side comes out. Sickening. Oh man, hold on. I gotta stand a little bit. Back trying to take me down. Trying to take out the Nitro Gang, everybody. All right, I got it. Just got to get the header in, and I'll be okay. Let me stand a little while straight. Can't bend over. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I got a couple doctor appointments booked this week, but you know what they're going to tell me. They're going to basically, you know, thing is, humans haven't really figured out how to deal with pain that well other than opioid addictions. That's the sad truth right there. Let me try to get this header back in. Once I get the header in a little bit, I can just screw it in and deal with the rest. Damn it, the thing is moving too much. Okay, I got one. All right, got that one. Let me do this side. Anybody notice those stupid AI filters that are everywhere now? The ones that say, I was once 71. And then it's you know, it rolls back the time. It looks freaking stupid. Gotta get this header in. Damn. It's not easy when you're not able to move too much over here. But, as I said, nothing will stop the Nitro Gang. Yeah, Nitro Jamie, man, I appreciate that advice. I think I got this one. It's not that easy to screw this in because I gotta make sure that the exhaust thing don't fall off. Oh, I got all the screws in correctly. All right, so it's aligned. All right, the gasket's in. You could see it's going in all right. I'm gonna fix that. Satan's Rage, what's going on, man? Yeah, RPM Nitro, that's not gonna happen. I can't get unemployment. That's not a thing. I'm gonna have to, like, just get unpaid time. All right, let me screw this in fully. Then I can get the collet in. And put the engine back. Let me get the other one. Almost done. Maybe one more turn. All right. I think it's tight. Yeah, it's extra tight now. So yeah, it's screwed in. All right, now let me get the engine back into this flex plate issue. What's up there, Lotus, man? Doing real bad. Probably the worst ever, you know. But you gotta pull through, push through, persevere, and move forward. Everybody got problems. Never think you're the only one. Look at Hulk Hogan. Misleading fans just a couple days ago. Oh, boat's starting to fall apart over there. Thank you, Lucas, man. I appreciate that. I mean, maybe $1,000 or $2,000 later, I'll be better, you know, because these. Guess what? Acupuncture don't accept insurance. Well, let me get this flex thing in on the bottom where there's the prop. Can't really see where it is. All right, I'm gonna have to pick this boat up and do it on my legs. Oh man, oh man. Oh man. Stream might have not been a good idea, bros. Let me do this on my legs. Hold on a second. Can't stand over it. How you all doing today? Just trying to get the flex plate in. Oh wow, that dog bone actually spins. That's odd. That's an odd design. The dog bone in the prop thing spins. Okay, I got it. I got it. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood, everybody. I got it to fit. All right, so the engine is sitting. I just gotta screw it back in. And you know, once back pain is gone, maybe in a year or two from now, I'll be all right. Yeah, everybody that doesn't know, Hulk Hogan was found unresponsive. Brother, as he says. Yeah, Cayman Jack. It looks like that's gonna be the case. It's pretty bad. It's not good. Yeah, Lotus, he had a cardiac arrest and he was found unresponsive. So yes, both of those stories are true. Let's put the screws back in and button her up. Maybe I'll look over some RC magazine. I don't know. Excuse me if I didn't have such great RC plans for today, but barely can move. Get this. Had to explain why I can't go to work. Sickening. Well, I didn't really have to explain, but, I will soon. All right, so the screws holes seem to be in normal condition, actually. All right. I guess everyone's going to be watching Thunder in Paradise. That's right, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, let's get to this side. I will say it looks like the mounting in the wood is pretty good. The holes aren't destroyed, which is what I was worried about. It's not like putting screws into aluminum or nothing. The screws literally going into wood. All right. I'm gonna tighten it up a little bit. And guys, that's it. The boat is, there shouldn't be an exhaust leak at this point. When I get better, it's gonna hit the ocean. Gotta say, I love the show Hogan Knows Best. I watched it. Then again, you know, at that time, there really wasn't much to watch on TV. That's like saying you enjoyed watching, you know, Full House. We tolerated watching Full House. At best, tolerated it. At best. All right, guys, I think that's it. Compression is sickening on it. Can barely spin the engine over. The compression is so hardcore on this OS. Andrew Pup goes, am I going to run this in the salt water? I pretty much have no choice, dude. Yeah, I live by the ocean. Like, you know, I don't have access to a proper lake here. So, I mean, if I want to run it, it's going to be in the ocean. That's just the truth right here. You know, unless I go somewhere really far. But, you know, in my current condition, can't really be going anywhere. It's pretty bad. All right, so the boat is basically done. That was pretty easy, right? Didn't really have to take it out fully. Yeah, Andrew Pope, I think we're going to visit you, man. I don't know. Saltwater. I ran boats in saltwater. You know, it's doable. I mean, you know, it's not ideal. I will admit it's not ideal. You don't want to always, you know, you're going to have to clean a lot of shit. It's going to rust. But it's doable. Let me just check out a couple things here, if you guys don't mind. All right, I'm back. All right, the boat's done. I mean, there's nothing else I can do with it, really. Let me think of what other projects I can come up with for tonight. You know, I didn't expect this to be so fast. All right, what we can do is maybe take a look at an off-na Truggy. Well, I'm not far from the Hudson, so pretty much, yeah. I mean, listen. What do I got to be afraid of, bro? I had acupuncture today. Everything, you understand, everything in life is downhill now. That's it. It's over. I'm going to try to get a Truggy out here, okay? Give me a minute. Want to see if I want to show you another picture or two. I might not, I don't know. So, I'll just show you one, okay? Like, I probably just showed it already, but whatever, I got nothing to hide. You know, if you got stuff to hide, don't start YouTube channels. That's what I'll say. So this is today, for those of you I just showed a little bit ago, this is what the acupuncture needle looks like. You know, the pain when they put it in is like very, very minimal. It doesn't really hurt. But, you know, the choir is still out, I would say, on the efficacy of this treatment. Mario, bro, I cannot start the boat, but what I'll do, I can play a short of it running before I did the repair. If you want, I can... Well, no, I'm not going to turn the audio on. There's a short of it running on the channel. Give me a second. I'm just checking out a few things. John, bro, congratulations. You got rid of an armor. Couldn't be more proud. All right. Let me see if I can move this from the table. I gotta be real slow, guys, and I'm gonna take the Truggy from it's been on this channel before. If you want to see the Truggy, let a brother know. John, trying to make room, man. Trying to make room. Yep. Yeah, I know. We got a lot of Truggy fans. What's up, Pitbull, bro? Pitbull. You won the membership again. Congratulations. It was donated by John Hensley tonight. He said, hell yeah, and then he said, Pitbull gonna become a member again. And I just came home from acupuncture, so, you know, I'm a little not too good right now. All right, guys. So this is the Truggy from a video a couple of weeks ago. Gotta say, not a very highly viewed video, which leads me to believe that nobody gives, and I don't really like to curse because cursing is a sign of low IQ. Nobody really cares much about vintage nitros as a whole. You know, we might say we do, but the truth is, you all want to see the newest, stupidest X-Max clones out there. I'm going to have to say it, guys. You know, I've been at this for a very long time, and the proof is in the pudding. People don't care about vintage nitro. That's, you know, we might, you know, well, some people do. I mean, you know, the people on the stream do. But that's about it, you know. Paige Smith, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm over here drinking Pedialyte to make sure that it's not some kind of electrolyte misbalance. Doing what I can. All right, so let's take a look at it. Nitro Pimp, of course, that doesn't refer to you, but you know, you're one person. I'm you know, putting things in a whole, you know, in a conglomerate term, so to say. Let's take this body off. Anybody want to give me any idea what I'm doing here with the wheels? Like, why do I got this going on? What's the situation? Oh, what's this bag over here? Oh, yeah, I remember what I was doing. Anybody want to tell me what they think I was doing with the front carbon fiber support? There's a situation with somehow in the front. Yeah, Pitbull Air Cooled, it's doing real bad. I had to go get acupuncture. And you understand, for a person like me that believes in science-based evidence in all facets of life, it's very difficult to seek alternative treatment. And yet I did. And also about $250 so far. There's going to be more. So, needless to say, nitros are going to take a suffering for a while. All right, so you guys might remember this axial engine ran real good. The pipe ran real good. This was the rust bucket Offna jammin'. Mutilator. This is not a jammin'. It's an Offna mutilator, which is basically a Truggy. All right, so the reason I have different wheels on, I'm just trying to understand the suspension geometry right now. For some reason, no matter what I do, I already rebuilt literally everything here. It doesn't... There's something with the wheels where, like, it vibrates, so I have different tires on just to set the camber in a caster. The reason is, you guys might remember, you know, well... I don't expect you to remember. But basically, the only way to adjust the suspension in this angles is through the wheels. And the factory mutilator wheels have like a covered dish wheel. So when you have a covered dish wheel, you can't adjust anything with the tire on. That's the main issue. So, you know, I had to get a little creative just so I can adjust the wheels, the suspension. Because the suspension, you know, when I ran it, you could literally see the vibrations in the camera. And, you know, to create vibrations on the GoPro is really difficult. I mean, that camera has very, very good stabilization. You know, this is the one that I did a bunch of work to. Turn it around. It's a pretty good chassis. Mechanically, you know, the engine is perfect. Servos are good. Linkages are good. I think the situation is, I'm going to show you the situation right now. Why do I have this front chassis brace off? Is the question. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to demonstrate it right now. But the reason is, let me see if I can demonstrate right now. Yeah, Lotus goes, yeah, GoPro stabilization is correct. So, you know, for me to find the footage shaky, that means there's something wrong with the chassis. Yeah, John Hensley goes, yes, that thing was a rust bucket. I cleaned it up, bro. You know, I took every screw out. I cleaned them as much as possible. You know, obviously I didn't put them in like an ultrasonic wash or nothing, but I don't have one yet. But I did what I could do to most of the screws. Basically, all of this is original, as you saw. So let me remove this, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So basically, this thing had a lot of binding with the steering. So I started to take apart the front end. So I put in the shock tower as it was. This is the way it was. Pretty much, the chassis is totally bent. Not totally bent, but a little bit bent. So something is bent no matter what. The screws actually do not go in evenly. There's a lot of tension on this part when I put them in. So let me see what happens. I'm going to put this one in a little bit. Just to see where we're at. Just to see the linkages, you know, adjusted. All right, so that is in. Let me get some of these other bell crank screws in. No matter what, I couldn't, like, there's still, even with this not tied down at all, like, right, it's not even on, the wheels just have so much friction for the steering. And I checked all the components. There's, you know, I oiled what I could. Yeah, these tires aren't for running. These are just for setup. Everybody just joining me. These are just for setup, okay? All right, so let me just put some of these screws back in. At this point, I had them out just so I can begin fixing it. All right, so let me put these screws in to the steering bell crank. You know, I'm not tightening them down. They're just in to hold it. Thank you guys for joining me here tonight once again. Just to see the positioning, right? You understand what I'm doing? Yeah, these front tires are just from a Kyosho buggy. They're not, you know, they're nothing exciting. They're pretty good for, like, you know, loose dirt and grass and stuff, obviously. But they're, you know, they're just Kyosho wheels. Marcio goes, is that a fuel filter? Yes. This is an external fuel filter. Normally, buggies and truggies, either way, have a built-in filter. But, you know, I go the extra mile and usually install one. I think this one already had it. But you really don't need a fuel filter if the tank has one already. You know, all right, so we're going to put these screws in the front. You see, I'm not easily able to turn them in. Like, they don't fit. That's because the chassis is actually bent. So if I move it somehow, let me see if I can get it in. Yeah, it's far off from being correct, actually. It is really pushing on the front. So for me to get that screw in, I would have to, like, basically, you see how if the screw was in, this whole front end is moving. That means the front of the chassis has to be bent down. It's going too far backwards. And obviously when I tighten this down, there's even more friction on the steering system. Make sense what I'm saying? Yeah, Nitro Jamie, I don't think it was a flat spot in the tires. And just check a couple things here. So that's basically my logic. So this chassis has to get bent back. It's not the end of the world, but you know, when you got acupuncture and back pain, it's not fun. Thanks, man. Only RC Nitros. Appreciate you, man. Jeff Myers, we got a chassis brace. So it's still bent. You know, the person I got this from, if you went and saw the original video, this was the rustiest RC I think I've ever had on this channel, to be honest with you. The rustiest of any kind ever. All right, but the engine is an axial and it runs almost like new. Very good compression, no problem at all. So at this point, I could try to disassemble everything and just bend the chassis back a couple degrees. That's the question. Yeah, Pitbull Air Cool goes, looks much better from when you got it. Let me see if I have a picture of when I first got it, in fact. I might have one. The wheels are just for setup, by the way, okay? They're not like, you know, I'm not keeping them here. I could run other wheels, but I wasn't very impressed with the factory mutilator wheels, in fact. They kind of suck. Oh, man, my leg is killing me. Oh, man. I don't know if I have a picture of this one when I first got it. Might have to go to the video. It don't matter. Nobody cares anyway. Well, it's not the right computer. If you guys want, I can pull up the picture of what it looked like originally so you could see. Oh, it doesn't matter. All right, so I've got the front suspension kind of settled in. This needs to get fixed because yeah, it binds a lot when I'm moving the steering. Like I can, you know, it's not smooth at all. I checked every part of the linkage. Every part of this is straight. It's not bent. So leads me to believe, because it's crooked, it's binding. That's the only solution I think I can come up with right now. Yeah, Marcio, thank you, man. This is a proper axial engine, you know. This is the engine people put into Savages, in fact. Axial 28. Real good engine. These almost never have issues. Their carbs are real good. And they have good RPM. You know, they're not like a Pico or nothing. But, you know, they have proper, you know, for back in the day. This, if you put this into a Savage, that would have been a runner and a half back then. Vintage Nitro World, what's up, man? Happy to see you here. You missed a little bit on that boat, but, you know, the boat is fixed. I got nerve pain and had needles in my arm. Well, pretty much not in my arm. About maybe 50 needles on the entire body. Canon stuff, what's going on, man? That's right. If it was a Hyper SS Hobeo, it will be okay. You might be correct, bro. The Hobeos have better metal parts, in fact, also, I will say. They don't rust nearly as much as this. But, you know, the prior owner, this thing was probably left outside for, like, years. But the engine was fine. I mean, one thing I will say, the engine was fine. You guys got any questions for me? I'll entertain some questions here in the chat. Yeah, this thing it needs to be redone. I can't get this one in there. All right, this is gonna have to all come out. It's gonna have to be disassembled and retaken apart, all of this, and bent back. Because if you can't turn the screw in to a basic component like this, then you got yourself a situation. All right, we got a good question here from John Hensley. He wants to know, what is the difference between on-road engines and off-road engines? Good question, bro. So, generally, the on-road engines are tuned to have more high RPM. And the off-road engines are tuned to have a better low punch, you know, it's a different torque curve, basically, different RPM and torque curve. Here, people, if you guys want, you can confirm what I'm saying. You know, I'm not infallible, but I have read a lot of RC magazines over the years, so I'm usually correct. But yes, off-road engines generally have a better torque curve, meaning more torque at the low end, and on-road engines generally have a higher RPM on the top end. Basically what it comes down to. Yeah, Rusty RC Nitros, I thought of doing that, but the problem is I have a lot of binding in this linkage, so there's something else going on. So if I just like manhandle it in there, which I could do, but it won't be good. Texas Hill, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Well, this one needs a little more work. There's something for sure. Even with all of this, the steering belt crank disconnected, I have a crazy amount of friction. Right? And I've tried everything. I mean, it shouldn't be. I mean, this system is free. Nothing here is bad. I've WD-40'd this before. It should be fine, and it's still not doing too good, which is real ironic. I don't know why it's doing that. Well, ironic isn't the right word, but inappropriate may be the right word. It shouldn't be doing that. Basically causes me to have terrible steering. I've checked literally every ball cup, everything. Maybe it's this screw that's too tight. Hold on, guys. I gotta lean back a little bit. Gotta lean back. Oh, man. Oh, man. Thanks, Tarek, bro. Yeah, once I get this running and I'm pain-free, well, it's a runner already. But I can't really go fire it up because I'm feeling real bad. I'm thinking if I undo this, maybe it'll help a little bit. Let me see. Thing is, I don't really want to disassemble this whole front end. There's something here binding. That's the situation, that it causes the steering not to work well. Nah, you need that. You need like a socket for this. All right, let me see if I can get a socket. Nah, can't get a socket for this. It's not gonna come out like. Oh yeah, we can get a socket in there. Hold on. You guys think I can get a socket on this? What you think? You can get a socket set on that? Oh man, lower back pain. Oh man. Oh man, I'm not gonna be able to do this for much longer. All right, this one should be good. Yeah, Rusty RC. I think one of the nuts has. I've gone through most of the nuts. That's the weird thing here. I've gone through most of them. You know, trust me, this is not the first time I ran into this. Usually on a Traxxas model, it would be a bad bushing, or like a bushing you just need to oil. But here, there are no bushings really. I've basically done everything possible, and it's still not good. All right, let me see if I can undo this a little bit. Damn, I can't even get it correctly done. Nah, it's... Well, I think I did some. Let me try a little more. Hold on, guys. Yeah, okay, I definitely turned it like half a turn. Definitely turned half a turn. Wild man, what's up? Feels the same. Let me get to the other side. Let me get the other side. Let me try this side. Can't tell which way is which. It's so rusty. All right, well, I did some. So let me see now. Nah, it's exactly the same. It's moving exactly the same. Let me do a little more. There's nothing else. It's just the turnbuckle and the wheels. The wheels are not tight. I checked the wheels. All right, let's try again. It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. We got a situation over here. I'm gonna have to do this whole video. It's exactly the same. Thanks all aspects, man. Yeah, Jeff Myers, I think I've already taken off a lot of stuff here, to be honest. The thing is, these bell cranks are stuck at the bottom, so I don't really want to get into removing this. But this part is free, right? Like you see, I could jiggle it, so it shouldn't be binding. This part is free too, it shouldn't be binding. And the wheels, I've literally removed all of this, and it's still binding. I'm thinking because the chassis is just bent. So it's sitting at an awkward angle, and that might be that situation. What do you all think? All right, guys, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm not going to be here much longer. Try to do what I can. Yeah, Paige Smith goes, I think you may be right. I think that's the case. It's just you know, tweaked. So no matter what I do, even this, I mean, it just needs to be bent back. Once I bend it a little more forward, then I'll be able to tell. But this chassis is relatively thick. It ain't that easy to bend, to be honest with you. Monty Crisco, thank you, man, but it's pretty bad. All right, everybody, you have a good night. Take care.